Good afternoon. Today you'll find us midway between the Cotswolds and the Malvern Hills because we're just up the road from Gloucester in the idyllic surrounds of Hartpury, the village itself with only a population of 700 or so, but well over 3,000 occupy the rooms on campus here where Gloucester Rugby train during the week, and it is of course the full-time home of Gloucester Hartpury women in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. That match coming up a bit later on our double header because of course first of all it's Greene King IPA Championship rugby action. It's round 8 and we're here to bring you Hartpury against Jersey Reds. Well, hello and welcome. Great to have your company with us and also the company of former British and Irish Lions and England scrum half Dowie Morris. It's 11th placed Hartpury against 6th placed Jersey Reds, and Jersey, well, of the 3 losses they've had this season, they picked up losing bonus points from all. So, Dowie Morris, what's the story of today?
The story of today, if you look at Jersey Reds, those first 3 losses were all away from home, but that word we use in sport, momentum, they certainly got that because the last 3 games they've won all 3. 2 weeks ago went up to Doncaster, and actually last week beating the Cornish Pirates, the high-flying Cornish Pirates. You've got Hartpury on the other hand who just want to consolidate their position in the Championship. They're 11th at the moment, you mentioned. Yorkshire losing last night. They want to put a few more points between them and the bottom of the table. Yeah, they do. Well, we'll have plenty more from Dowie over the course of the afternoon and the game, of course, which is kicking off in a few minutes. Let's have a look at those fixtures that are also taking place in round 8. And Dowie mentioned it, of course, last night there was that game between Yorkshire Carnegie, London Scottish winning that one by 18 points to 5. Miles Mantella with a try in each half, as well as Rob Stevenson. 2:30 then, Doncaster Knights is also kicking off at the same time with a tough home tie against London Irish. Then at 3 o'clock, Ealing Trailfinders, 6 wins out of 7, are taking on Coventry in 8th. And also 3 o'clock, Richmond in 9th against Nottingham in 5th. And then tomorrow at the Mene, it's the Cornish Pirates in 3rd against Bedford Blues in 4th. Big game between 2 Championship old-timers. The Scrumpy will be flowing in Penzance. Let's have a look at the table then. Proper job. The league table then, Ealing top, but well, Irish with that game in hand, which will be played on November the 3rd. Not long till that one gets sorted. 5 points between 5 teams then, from Nottingham to Richmond. New Boys Coventry in there after that nail-biting win over Scottish last week. Then Hartpury and Yorkshire Carnegie, who haven't picked up a win since we were there, Dowie, in early September. That's how things are looking for them at the minute. Well, as we get close to kick-off then, let's find out how both camps are feeling. We caught up with the coaches just a few minutes ago. Well, Harvey, decent position in the table in 6th at the minute for Jersey Reds. How do you appraise the season so far?
Slow start, tough start with all our games being away from home, but we've turned that around with a couple of home fixtures in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and looking to build on that today.
Yeah, you've got a decent bit of power in your pack, haven't you? Is that where the battle's going to be won or lost today?
Oh, I think there's definitely going to be a contest. I think there's some experienced heads in that Hartpury outfit, but I'd like to think we've got something to offer out in the backs too. Yeah,
what do you think are the main threats that the home side offer today?
Oh, I think across the board, if you do a little bit of analysis on them, I mean, their maul is very strong, their scrum's a platform, but they're also prepared to throw the ball around from all areas on the park. So from a defensive point of view, we're going to have to be on our mettle.
Okay, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Well, John, it's not been the easiest of seasons so far. How important is today to get things back on the road?
I think every game that we play from now to the end of the season is going to be important. It's going to be tight down the bottom where we are with the likes of Yorkshire and maybe a few other teams sit there. So every game becomes important. We've got a couple of wins this year and a couple we could have got more points out of. So disappointing the last few weeks, I suppose you could say, but the last time we were home against Ealing we really showed we can compete, so hopefully we'll see that performance today. Yeah, you've gone for a few big guys up front because ultimately you can see what's coming at you. Yeah, Jersey, they're a good side, but they are very physical and a big large side. They always have been. A very good set piece, the driving line out in the scrum, so we've got to try and match that as best we can. We've got some new players in with our own injuries, so we managed to draft a couple in late notice, but the guys are going to be as physical as they can, but we know it's going to be a tough task, especially up front. Yeah, it's probably too early in the season to be worrying about league position, but certainly that result last night has helped you a little bit in terms of Yorkshire Carnegie. Yeah, I think so. Yorkshire got their own problems with squad sizes and things like that, but they like to get a few more players in after Christmas, so we just got to keep going. I think it was the same last year. Rotherham this time last year were down the bottom with us, and we managed to pull away from them. So I say we'll do our best in every game, and every point I think becomes important. Best of luck today. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well, good to hear from John Barnes as we get ever closer to kick-off. A slightly anxious-looking chap at this stage, Dowie Morris.
Yeah, they've done so well, haven't they? Just getting into the Championship Hartpury. They've moved 9 times in 13 seasons. It's a fantastic story. Last year, he mentioned Rotherham. Rotherham was sort of out of the running for quite early in the season, so almost people could react. They just want to basically consolidate now, and that's what it is. But they've just got a lot of injuries. Talking to Mark Cornwall, obviously the second row, the old second row from Gloucester, he's got problems in the second row. They've lost 3 second rows this week, but everyone's got problems.
So let's have a look at the teams then. Hartpury have gone with a few changes to inject a bit of life into things. They all come in the pack ready for Jersey's Upfront challenge. It means a first start for lock forward Ahizadeh, newly arrived from Bristol Bears at 6'5" and almost 120 kilograms. That'll help. He's alongside captain Simon Linsell, and in the front row Luke Stratford starts in the middle against his hometown club, and Tom Pashley starting ahead of Stevenson in the back row. He's of course got that Bucks rugby experience, and it's Bolton Leeming in the half-backs, with Jake Henry hoping to add to his double try tally from the right wing. For Jersey Reds, well, Harvey Biljon makes just one switch. On loan Harlequin scrum half Callum Waters is given his first start in the number 9 shirt, with Will Homer switching to the bench. Jerry Sexton retains the captaincy and will pack down in the second row alongside Charlie Beckett, behind former Rotherham skipper Charlie Madison. In the backs, well, 11 tries from 11 to 15, with Augustine Slowick bagging 4 of them. A blend of Kiwi, Northern Irish and South African talent will keep Hartpury on their toes, with returning man this season Aaron Penberthy marshalling those outside him. And we can have a look at the benches as well. Beck Cutting, well, he's shown his face in the Premiership Shield this season for Worcester Cavaliers, a really mobile threat. With Harry Cochrane, another one in the lineup who's a former Jersey boy. And for the Reds, Nick Selway, well, he's part of the club furniture for the Reds, but he knows how to score tries as well. 3 so far this season. And then 21 and 22, Homer and Heron, the youngsters, keen to tear it up a little bit later. In terms of their recent results and the form then, Dowie Morris, we can see what it looks like for Hartpury. Just those 2 wins, as we mentioned, and 3 losses in a row. It's not the momentum that they want, which you mentioned in our opening.
No, 2 from 5, and they've simply got to do stuff. Everyone, like I said, has got injuries at this part of the season. It's difficult. They've got 1 more round to go before the cap competition starts, so maybe they've got a chance then to sort of regroup. But a win today would be so important to them, obviously, with Yorkshire Carnegie under pressure, losing last night.
And as far as Jersey are concerned, well, the momentum swing very much the other way. We talked about those 3 losses, but picking up losing bonus points so crucial for them. And actually, the chance to chat to Harvey a little earlier off camera, and he was saying a decision here, a moment there, and they might have even had wins out of a couple of those. So then to get those 3 wins in a row against not small opposition.
Look, I mean, Cornish Pirates have done fantastically at the start of this season, so they really did give them a good beating up almost over at Jersey last week. But to go to Doncaster and put 47 points on them, and they've got a lumpy pack as well, so it seems that they have turned things around. This will be a good yardstick for them, but again, it is what it is. They're a good bunch, and they're just finding their feet as well, because they've lost a few players. I think, talking to Harvey before, I think they've produced 21 players who have either gone to the Premiership or played 14 over the last 3 years, so they're always trying to regroup, but they want a big performance today as they lead out the Jersey Reds in blue.
Indeed, yes, the Reds in blue. Hashtag Champ Rugby, we would love to hear your comments and thoughts over the course of the afternoon. We'll be checking Twitter for those particularly, or if you're watching via Facebook, then leave your comments there. Hashtag Champ Rugby to ask your questions of Dowie Morris and get your thoughts on this current season's Greene King IPA Championship to us. As both of the teams do make their way onto the field then, and our referee for this one is going to be George Selwood, and he will be assisted by Philip Waters and Bill Burton. Third meeting between the sides then since Hartpury reached the championship just over a year ago. Can they beat Jersey at the 3rd time of asking? Well, Sam Leeming will be the first man to get things underway. Kicking off right from left to right, sorry, as Jersey get the first job done. Clearing from their own lines. And we'll have the first set piece.
And this is going to be crucial as ever in any rugby game, but especially today. The defensive line for Jersey last week against Cornish Pirates was fantastic coming off the line, but also their set piece was very, very good. So Mark Cornwall knows he's going to be under pressure from Hartpury, and that's not a bad first start.
No, Ahizadeh doing well to bring that one down nice and cleanly. Not been with the club long, of course, and then Seabrook. And they managed to get the little chip through from Wilcox. Marking some questions already at the back. That was really nicely done from Callum Waters. Came steaming in to get that. Timed it perfectly. Now they're going to need a bit of help. Waters will get up off the deck and get his way back to scrum half. Now he's there. He calls Janko Venter in there as well. You will notice the sizable frame of some of these Jersey Reds players. They're not shy of a few kilos. That one's coming down though for Jake Henry, and he can be one of the more potent threats for the home side. And then Wilcox with a little step off the right boot. And, well, he nearly just got away over on that far side.
You can see Hartpury's intent straight away from that first line. It is to move the ball wide, try and get as much width on this ball and try and get around the edge of Jersey Reds.
Penberthy getting up to try and put the pressure on as Leeming tries to make a few more yards. Bolt, of course, who arrived with Luke Cousins. That's a nice little ball over the top, though, and Matt Gilbert gets going. Hartpury will be pleased with how they're looking from this opening couple of minutes through the phases. Ball back in for Pashley. Bucks winning skipper from last season. Now are they going to try and put a bit of width on it? Well, Dan Murphy was in the line to truck it up and just say, I'll hit another ruck for you if you want me to. Now it's released out the back from Penberthy, using Mike Wilcox as another option there. Good feet from Henry to try and get around that first tackle. That's the 22, away from Bolt again. New signing this season, the 30-year-old, was playing his rugby in Rouen. His fly half colleague from Rouen, Cousins, is on the bench, of course. Now he's going to look at the options right, and Simon Linsell, the skipper, is offering himself, but he might be looking back to that far side, or Dan Murphy thinks that he can ask a couple more questions at ruck time. Players come in, and the turnover might have been affected by Jersey Reds, and that's been very nicely done. We're going to be referring to the Reds all afternoon, and they are in blue. It's going to be make our job just that little bit more difficult. It's a brilliant tackle on Wilcox. And the ball's just gone forwards, and that's superb pressure from Jersey.
Well, a bench like that, that's Callum Walters. Again, looking forward to seeing how he goes today. He started superbly well on loan from Harlequins, obviously England under-20s, and you can just see he's just in the right place. That chase was superb. Put the pressure on, and the penalties given. So all that good work from Hartpury has come to naught, and this is where Jersey Reds excel in the set piece.
Yeah, Waters was on loan from Quins after Joel Dudley was forced to retire, very sadly.
But he gets very little game time down there. So again, what I'm talking to Harvey, he's delighted to have, and equally you've got Brett Heron, who's on the bench, a 9 that just needs game time. And you know, what a great opportunity, a chance, and place to come and play as the championship. And he's got a good platform.
He has, yeah. Played a bit of under 20s as well. Yeah. It's a decent bit of talent for Quins to be parting with, but as you say, for the Reds to be able to develop him.
Well, exactly. Can always go back there. But Charlie is going to get some game time for them. But again, what a great opportunity now for Jersey Reds to launch something. And this shouldn't go back for the Blues.
Well, there's certainly the best opportunity that either side have had in the opening 4 minutes. Penalty Jersey.
Elbow down. Elbow down. Yeah.
Just pick up our referee. So well, Hartpury unable to support themselves, getting an elbow on the floor.
Interesting there. You could have gone for a 3. Penberthy got 18 points against the Pirates. Cheeky little drop goal within that scoreline. But they've decided to go for the kill, go into the corner. Liner options all over the place. Didn't fancy another set scrum, so normally, well, you've got to score from here or set something up to unleash their backs.
It's only Luke Cousins and Mr. Penberthy who slotted drop goals this season. Cousins on the bench for Hartpury.
Good knowledge. Good set. Right at the back.
It's there for Charlie Madison. 3 tries already this season, and you can see what position he likes to get in to try and score them. Hartpury have just held it up for a moment, though.
They've done well. They've got one more chance to go, and now normally they come around the corner with a lot of power, a lot of pace.
They are very close, but have Jersey just managed to get enough ballast to stop the momentum. Now they need to try and get it onto the floor, but Selwood's in a decent position. The referee says it is the score. And is Madison the one to come up with it through the pile of bodies? What? The answer's on a postcard perhaps for that one. Jersey Red pack with the try.
Okay, fine.
Anyone sort of messaging in, help-wise? Here we go. Big tight heads in there. It goes to the floor. You're a better man than me if you can see that. I think it's probably the hooker. They normally don't like giving the ball away. He scored last week, didn't he? Brother of Barney Madison, obviously, who was at Ealing and now at London Irish in the second row. So unless we hear any different, we'll go with Charlie. Good start from Jersey Reds. The first opportunity, the decision to go into the corner was absolutely right. Penberthy made that. Can he add the extra 2?
But I think that's purely as a result of going down inside first. I think so. Can someone say something on that last ball as well?
Just curls that one in. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
First blood Jersey then. Try and conversion, and they lead by 7 points to 0.
Well, pretty clinical. George Selwood, the referee, said you've got one more go, and that's all they need. Backs came in to help, and somewhere underneath there, the try was scored. He's in the right position, and that's what you want from a coach. And Penberthy adds the 2. So again, a perfect start for Jersey. First opportunity, first 7 points. Oh dear, what's happened there? Not somebody's in front.
Yes, indeed.
Just to compound matters for Hartpury.
Offside from the restart, by the way. Just to reassure you, Dowie, I've checked the Jersey Reds' own social media. They haven't put out who scored. So,
if any of the 200 people in the Jersey clubhouse, big cheer for you boys. I know you're there, enjoying yourselves. If you can help, please text in, email in, Twitter in, or whatever you.
I'll be over in Jersey for a wedding in April. If anyone's got a.
Hopefully, we'll have found out by then.
Yeah, if someone's got a sofa for us, that would be lovely. As they watch on. Plenty of tries in that Jersey backline, as we mentioned, but no shortage of power in the forwards as well.
Options all over the place, yeah. All lining up on the left-hand side. You got Waters wants to go, and off they go. Oh, and he comes back.
Yeah, it's come back to the near side, and they're now going to thread that through, trying to send Van Dam after that. It's just going to beat him into the corner.
There's plenty on show today.
Well, he's a Kiwi and former Baby Black as well.
Yeah.
Played for New Zealand under-20s.
Yeah. Very accomplished player. Beginning, you just pop it down there. Penberthy just popping it through the corner into the corner. He knows it's going to run lovely, and that's exactly what your forwards want. They want to get up from that scrum, have a look, and see exactly where they are. And now they can put the pressure on Hartpury. But
Hartpury throw to Langley, but they've pulled the player in the air. So Jersey have been penalised, and this will give Sam Leeming a little bit more time to make his clearance.
Yeah, much needed. Just draw breath. Had a pretty good start, but like I said, you can see the way they're trying to play. They just got to get some parity in the scrum and the line-out, which they should do. It's whether they can sustain it for the full 80 minutes, because again, they've got some quick backs out there. Like to Jake Henry and Ben Foley, you mentioned, both from new recruits from Rotherham. But they need ball in hand. They need forward ball, momentum ball.
Ben Foley bringing a bit more of that physicality that Mark Cornwell said they needed after last season. Ahizadeh is the chosen man again who brings it down. Very nicely done, and now they've found a little bit of room to send Henry through that gap. Henry gets the offload away. That was nice from the home side. Option again away from Bolt.
I think Seabrook should have just stayed on the outside rather than try and run inside. I think there was still a little bit of space out there.
Bolt again. Ahizadeh offers himself as the man in the middle. It's still on down this short side as they find Eves, who is a decent, powerful runner at 12. Ahizadeh was only just back to his feet, wondered if he was getting the ball immediately, but now Leeming releases it out a little further back, and Henry again. Oh, that was a big old collision. Needs to be careful he doesn't lead with the forearm.
James Newey, I think, has come off worse from that. The 20-year-old, Northern Irish 21-year-old.
Now they've gone for the ball over the top. It wasn't the best pass from Dan Murphy. You could see that it was on. Rob Langley with the lovely pink boots. Easy's there to play scrum half. Lovely pass away from the second row. It was 2 off to Stratford.
And you can see again that line speed that was so important against Cornish Pirates, and the turnovers happened again purely from the attack.
Argyle with the break, and he shrugs off the first tackle as well. Easy then nails him, and the 25-year-old from Rotherham was the beneficiary of that turnover. And Reds looking to try and come through the middle. The Reds in blue, as we will keep mentioning, as Jerry Sexton, younger brother of a certain Johnny. Oh, and then a big tackle in midfield, and that was a tip tackle on Van Dam, and this might not look too pretty. The referee's going to have a think about this.
It's a yellow, definitely. It's not a red because he's come down on his back. If he'd have come down on his head or neck, it would have been a red, unfortunately. Correct decision.
Jake Henry then has not helped the numbers as far as Hartpury are concerned. They're down a try, and already they're down to 14.
And again, they've gone into the corner. They turned down the possibility of 3. They did that the first time with the possible Charlie Madison score. We'll find out whether he did actually get it, but they've gone right into the corner. Here we go. Again, it's these big forwards, big back row forwards carrying the ball. Van Dam. It's difficult because of the momentum. He didn't force him down. It's one of those.
Well, he suddenly had to change direction,
exactly,
didn't he, and catch the player running straight towards him.
And then you're moving off your left or right foot. So
Madison with it. He's certainly got it in his bits this time. Oh, but he loses it. Advantage being played. Have they got an option? They kick the ball away, and the referee's decided that's where drive Hartpury off that ball, and they've managed to hold on to it. Now they've got to clear their lines through Leeming. Leeming hasn't found touch though, and he comes down and is away from Cock Marks. Now it's Van Dam. Steps inside, might have done enough to draw 2 tacklers and then try and send Newey away.
Well, Hartpury down to 12, 13 at the moment because Leeming has taken a knock and he's right behind the pitch. You can just see him top right up there. He hasn't got up from that kick. Here's the replay. It was a good scrum. 1 ball out. This goes to Eves. That's what you want from your inside centre. He gets a platform, bit of ballet from Hartpury. Didn't know they were famous for that down here. And when that ball came out, it was a good chase, and that's what Jersey Reds do. They put a lot of pressure, and every opportunity they get, especially the kickers, they don't give them an easy kick, an easy out. That's the way you should do it.
You'll be pleased it wasn't a nutcracker.
I'm not going to give you any more if that's the best you can come back with. But again, as ever, the 3rd time now Jersey Reds have gone into the corner. First time, that guy we think scored. 2nd time, that guy dropped the ball. And the 3rd time, well, we're just about to find out.
Little conversation going on between Madison and Harry Morley. Charlie Beckett, option at the front.
It's good condition, isn't it? Harper were hoping that the rain would stay away. It's definitely going to stay away. The sunshine was forecast. We haven't seen much of that at the moment. But again, another good set from Jersey, and off they rumble again.
Yeah, Jerry Sexton with the take. And Madison will get his way there. They're straight through, they're straight over. They couldn't cope with that one, and this time it is Madison. No doubt about that. Oh, well, I'm sorry, I thought the referee's arm was straight in the air. But we're coming back for a penalty. Well, a little bit of confusion there.
Well, the referee's in the correct position. There was a knock-on over the line. So it's the Charlie Madison show at the moment.
But you could hear the referee say, I saw the grounding, but I was a bit keen.
Well, here we go. There's the ball. Oh, yeah. Absolutely tremendous. Look behind you, lads. Oh, dear. Right.
The initial action of the referee was to give it, but I think the assistant has also advised.
He was in the correct position, just about to go on his haunches to see if it was grounded. He didn't need to. Another good throw.
Venter.
Oh, it's not a good throw.
Oh, wow. Jersey Reds will be infuriated now. That's about 3 or 4 platforms they've had to get a second try in the game, and they've not managed to yet.
Yep. Just gives Harper an easy out. But it's all one-way traffic, and apart from those first couple of moves in that from the kick-off, and Harper were trying to get to go wide and stretch the Jersey defence. It's all about these guys, your front five fatties, wrestling it out.
Another moment where Hartpury's forwards have got to maintain this hold to allow Leeming the time to make the clearance. He's right on the dead ball line at the minute. They're told to use it. They'll fire it away. They'll not give it straight to Leeming. They'll get across the gain line very nicely from Luke Eves.
You always get across the gain line if you give it to Luke at inside centre. That's what you need.
Now it's fired back to Leeming, who was all of 4 or 5 metres further forwards. That's a really good touch finder as well. That'll relieve a decent amount of pressure.
That's a great kick. He's recovered from that little knock, and that's what you need from your sort of inside backs, in a sense. Your inside centre just setting it up, and very good communication from Bolt to Leeming, and Leeming just pumping it up another 30-35 minutes. 35 minutes.
We knew what you meant. Madison up for Sexton and down. Technicality from the Reds' point of view, player leaving the line out early.
It's a move that Jersey like to use. They drop a big forward, a big back row forward into the outside half position. Unfortunately, Matt Cornwall knew that was going to happen, so he's got off his marks quicker than he should have done, and you can just see there that was the try that wasn't. Referee gave it, then he rethought. Couldn't believe his own eyes, I think.
Yeah, he did it all himself there, didn't he? It wasn't too much reflection, but
again, but he made the correct decision. You know, he's not all right. I put my hand up, but it wasn't grounded. So
good honesty.
Yeah.
Nice to see hookers hook the ball,
isn't it? What a joy! What a joy! Your old mate Brian Moore will be purring over it. Trying to get on the outside is Seabrook. Real talent through the England age grades. Tom Seabrook, 19 years of age. They are hoping for big things, and well, this young fella is a big man as well. But coming back for the penalty, and it looked like Ahizadeh was away.
I think advantage. Give him. They've had very little go forward ball there, and the big second row's made a bit of a dent, and yeah, he was playing advantage. He's obviously come back for that advantage, but I'd like to see the big fella go. Look at that, he's come superb line. Great line, he's taken 2 out.
Don't quite know what we've come back for there. Referee said he's called it. I'm not quite sure what that was in regard to, whether one of the players said we'd like the penalty ref, and whether you're allowed to do that. I wouldn't thought you are, but anyway, the result is that
the referee's in charge. The referee sees advantage, he should be playing it. So
okay. He was away, but Hartpury have taken the option of the penalty and kicked it down towards the try line and just inside the 22.
That's where Harper have got to get going for them. This is his first start. Obviously, he's come from Bristol, so you got to get your big traffic, your big guys, your big carriers, and try and, like I said, to make a dent and get through. Feelings with Gilbert. More of the same for them, hopefully.
Well, they've got to try and show Jersey that they can put in a bit of go forward as well, and they've certainly got it here. Tracking it forward, and there's going to be a penalty because Madison's brought that one down.
Well, that should be a yellow.
They haven't got too many options out wide, so they're going to stick the ball over the top. But now it's just come down to Penberthy, and could that be a try? Referee's going to have a quick chat with the man opposite him. They're going to celebrate like they've scored and sell it. And let's have a listen. Brilliant score. Well, they knew they had the penalty advantage. There wasn't much of a backline to pass it down, so Leeming fancied the chance of the little kick over the top. And what a finish.
Well, it is a great finish. Again, it's Leeming's distribution has been superb with its hand, and this time with his foot. The ball's definitely gone back there. He's grounded it. The lad that's just come on, Luke Cousins,
can celebrate. Referee again doing the right thing, had a conversation with the touch judge, and that's a good response.
I should remind you, there is no TMO, of course, in this game. So,
and actually, the only thing I would say about the referee's decision is that actually movement broke down initially because Charlie Madison deliberately brought that maul down. So I think Jersey Reds are lucky to get away with just the score. They could have been down to 14 men.
Yes, it's a very fair point. Leeming, who's nailed it. 7 points apiece. That'll settle a few of the Hartpury nerves. Let's have another look.
Very good. Penberthy hiding out on the wing.
Oh, it's just a fingertip connection, isn't it?
He knows he's got it. Again, he's not trying to con the referee. The touch judge is behind him. Confirmation was given to the referee. And out of nowhere, as far as possession, I think, and territory.
Well, Jersey will look. Sorry, Dowie.
I'm just saying Hartpury level.
Yeah, they'll look back at those failed line-outs, the free kicks, technicalities, then another penalty,
Absolutely.
and that got them all the way down into their own 22. And from there, the score.
That's it. You take your opportunities. The first time they did it, they nailed the 7-pointer. Second time, a few mistakes, and all of a sudden it creeps in. It gives Hartpury a little bit more confidence to say, right, okay, they are a big pack, but we can get the better of them as long as we. Right and the wrong reasons.
Yeah, possibly lucky to be on the field for this 10-minute stretch at least. Simpson goes round. It's going to be Penberthy who's in at 9. And a really big drive back from the home side, and the fans love the look of that. Waters will come down the near side again. They will try and release Van Dam, who has to step back. He had upfield outside him, but it was just a simple 2-on-2. No advantage able to be found by Van Dam, who does like to try and drag those two tacklers in, create space for others. Harper nearly managing to turn that one over. It's away from Waters again. Now Penberthy out the back. Looks for a little width. They've gone backwards so far as Newey takes it and on to Slowick, and they've still managed to get away with this. This is a brilliant run back in field. Oh, what a try from Cockmarks back into Waters, and Waters with the score for Jersey Reds. Brilliant second try.
And Marks again talking to Harvey before the game. He said, watch out for him, he's a big powerful runner. He certainly is. He got a try last week and he's made one this week. Inside of Waters, very good 9, just following up, just waiting for the decision to be made in front of him, and it was no decision really to be made because there was a few loose tackles from Hartpury falling off. There's one that's going to be made, and then it's just it could be 1 or 2, couldn't it? It's gone to the scrum half, and it's a run-in, simple run-in, but made by the big winger, South African born. He can play centre. Ex-Greekers and Lions are all that experience coming to the fore, but it's the old age. You can't afford to fall off tackles, and that's where Hartpury have been doing so well in the midfield area. Then as soon as it's gone out wide, they've just dripped off him. So an easy score really for Jersey to get ahead once again in this game.
If you like a Dower 6-3 game, you're not getting it this afternoon because 3 tries already.
This is a championship, man. There's no Dower 6-3 games, I can assure you.
Certainly are not. Leeming then to get Hartpury restarted. 2 tries to 1, Jersey up. Van Dam looks like he's in a bar brawl, doesn't he?
Well, the 2 wingers like to step and use their power, and this is something that Hartpury should know. And they've got to, I think, if they get with 1 person can't stop them, they don't get 2 on them because they do make 3 or 4 yards where they shouldn't.
Well, Marks as well, who we saw looking so strong on the wing. He can play in the centre as well, and it's easy to see why. High ball, brilliantly taken out of the air from Gilbert. Needs someone on his shoulder. Didn't look for them. Instead takes it into contact, and sometimes that's where Hartpury need to be a little savvier because it was just 1 single Jersey tackler there and might have been on to continue keeping the ball alive, but it's there. Bolt goes digging for it. Leeming thinks he's spotted an opportunity to thread that through to the far right, far left side. Slowick finds a few yards to put that one into touch. And it's just about on the halfway line.
That's not bad from Leeming. Again, there's certain times when...
Here's the try once more.
Yeah, you've got to well, nearly.
Or it will be.
I'll get the 50p out. But yeah, sometimes you just don't go through the processes because of that. You can see you've got forwards down on the floor. Sometimes just put your boot on it, get a good chase, and then all right, that didn't quite work out, but you get a chance of the line out, and that's good ball.
Linsell brings it down. Leeming looking to try and play a little flatter. They could look to use a Heasaday as well, because we've seen him look very dangerous every time he's been on the ball, the youngster. Plenty of power, looking to try and use a bit of feet, his cousins. Oh. Big hit in the middle.
My word.
Now a little chip over the top. Slowick thinks he might have spotted something being on here. They've had to nip back and get their hands on it, and now they're running it out. And it could be a decent ball for Wilcox. Wilcox back inside. Can Harper go all the way here? He's still keeping it alive. Ball back in field. Oh, but now it's fallen into the hands of Jersey, but it goes backwards from them, and then it maintains possession to Hartpury, and it could be on here. Leeming, now they pull it out the back. It's good hands from Stratford. Now they come wide, and Linsell. Oh, the final pass just couldn't quite be made. But what invention from their own 22.
Yellow card for a deliberate knockdown from Penberthy. So it's yellow card apiece now. But again, it was a good breakout, and that's the way Hartpury are going to play. They're going to play fast and furious on the counter to it. There's no better ball than turnover ball. That was great combination play between Slowick.
Should credit Harry Cochran with that try, by the way. That was he who scored for Hartpury. Also heavily involved in that move.
It was. I've got my numbers running the wrong way as well, but yeah, again, good play, wasn't it, between Wilcox and Cochran. Fortunately, combination didn't quite work. It broke down in the second row, gets involved, but it's even Stevens now. 10 minutes advantage with one guy in the sin bin. And sensibly, I think, Leeming into the corner. It's got a good setup. They've shown that they can catch and drive pretty well from this position.
Well, we had the initial yellow card that went to Hartpury. Now Jersey are down a man. They didn't bother lifting Heasaday too far. They've gone with a ball transfer, and it's in with Stratford. Now Heasaday gets his hands on it. Beckett comes round, but he's told no by the referee. There's a road bump in the form of... That's a Leafo.
Yeah, I think somebody else is in trouble here. That's a deliberate ball bring down again.
It's untidy ball. Advantage still being played. Referee wants to give Hartpury a chance to try and score this themselves. They tell Stratford to go and hug that touchline, because I think Bolt wants to fling it to the hooker to dive over and score. Now who's going to get the yellow card here? Because it could be a second one.
I think the touch judge will have to be brought on.
Well, I think George Selwood's seen enough from his side first of all.
That's the captain, Sexton.
Well.
So by my maths, they're down to 13, is that right?
That is right.
Okay, well then, we'll go with that. So I'd advise Hartpury to go into the corner once more.
That's before the assistant on the other side suggested someone else should have gone, but I think probably he's thought, my colleague in the middle has just sent one off. Let's leave it at that.
He's a very good throw to the second row. He didn't get off the floor. The set was very, very good. So where do they go this time? Two big second rows right in the middle.
Linsell's going to be well lifted. They knew it. But it wasn't tidy, and Waters makes a clearance. Oh, and then it's just been knocked into touch from Jake Henry. That will be infuriating for the winger, because he would have loved the chance to counter-attack. It wasn't the cleanest kick from Waters, but it's ended up giving Jersey Reds the line out.
It got worse and worse for Hartpury, and better and better for Jersey Reds. They just got up in front of that ball. They saw the two second rows. I think it was earmarked for Linsell. Didn't get him. The throw wasn't as accurate as it should have been. Pretty flatly kicked from Waters, got even better. Touched by Hartpury, and they've got a throw in at the line out. So
don't forget hashtag Champ Rugby if you would like to get your say to us across on Twitter. We've got Dowie Morris here if you've got any questions about the championship. It'd be great to hear from you. Have a little look at thoughts and comments at half time. But look at those 2 yellow card counters. Jersey are having to do this period with 13 men on the field, and they were so close to each other, those yellows as well. So it's going to be the full force of a good 9 minutes.
There's going to be a 5-man line, obviously.
Well, at this stage.
Down to 13. That part's easy now. It's all about running the clock down. Takes some running down, 8 minutes with 13 players, but
yeah, Waters has lost his 10, so
this has got to be on the button to give his chasers a chance.
He couldn't stick it straight into touch as well. It's a little untidy, or it was knocked forward from Hartpury though, so during all of these little moments, little errors, they're not keeping possession while they're
and they will not, and the Jersey Reds will not be in any hurry whatsoever to take this. As Sexton looks on.
Oh no, we can play on.
Crowd, pretty healthy crowd down here.
It's a great facility, isn't it?
Mate, it's again, it gets better I think every year. Obviously the Equine Centre and even golf over there. Seen somebody playing. It is just great, isn't it? For what did you say? There's 700 people population of Hartpury.
Yeah.
And 3,000 students.
3,300 here.
I bet that pub's busy.
Yeah.
And there's
Matt Gilbert.
Matt Gilbert's travelling barista van. We had a coffee in there. Had to pay for it, obviously, but no, he's a character. And all these students looking on.
Yeah.
It is just beautiful.
Well, they've got a bit of championship rugby to enjoy. Of course, it's a double header for you in terms of live streaming action this afternoon, because Nathan Middleton and Heather Fisher will be here to bring you the Tyrrell's Premier 15s match between Gloucester Hartpury and Worcester Valkyries. So if you'd like to delve into the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, that game follows this one.
And that one be for the faint-hearted. Worcester against Gloucester.
Seeing the likes of Lydia Thompson, who's down here as well, of course, named in that England women's squad for the Quilter Internationals. We'll have a little bit more news on that later, and of course where you can catch those games. But our focus, Greene King IPA Championship. Clock continuing to tick.
Yep. And then launching themselves into it. Let's try and get a little more space between us, okay? We'll slow it down again.
Plenty of communication going on between the ref and assistant.
There has to be, because there's a safety issue here, even though these boys from Jersey are big lads, and Hartpury got to be very sensible and very careful that they don't charge into this and just try to think, right, we are going to get that early advantage, because if you push early you are just going to get a free kick. So
yeah, likes of Harden and Murphy for Hartpury, their season campaigners, former Gloucester boys.
Absolutely. And I've got to give a big shout out to Steve Ojomo. Unfortunately, Steve had a stroke. Talking to Mark Cornwall, I believe he's okay. I've been trying to get in touch with him, so I'll be seeing the big man soon, hopefully.
Oh, it's a brilliant offload out the back for Van Dam, and then Van Dam uses the footwork. This is going to be a superb try, well, or is it? He hands it back to Waters. Van Dam perhaps should have pinned the ears back, surely. He'd done the hard work. Can Jersey hold on to it? Attempted ruck through from Hartpury to try and secure possession. Ball is still there for the Reds. Are they going to go close quarters? Beckett wants to get his hands on it. He goes around the corner. Brilliant from Van Dam. And the offload out the side. The Reds in blue.
Good, thank you, Sue.
Callum Waters goes back towards the short side. Carry from Argyle. 4 metres out. Waters waits for the next option. Atalifo accompanied by Morley. Quicker ball for Waters, but he'd almost overshot it, so he needed the man behind him upfield to get hold of it.
And bear in mind, you got Penberthy out in the sin bin, so who's taking the...
It was a big run into that
was best
collision, and it's ended up drawing, I think, a high tackle penalty as Callum Waters got himself over. He's held up at the minute. Tricky decision as to whether Hartpury have to let that go or whether they're appealing for held up over the line, but it wasn't over the line enough, so they do release. And the Reds of Jersey fly over the top. Atalifo The Superman finish. Fijian prop with the cape on. Comes flying over and gets the finish. Jersey Reds get their third try whilst down to 13, and you have to take your hat off for that.
You do. He's wearing his underpants outside his shorts in the second half, I think. But yeah, it was well worked. So I was saying Penberthy's in the sin bin, so the decision maker, one of the decision makers, off the field. But when you've got that much skill and that much vision, get your tight head over at about 120 k's, that'll do the job. And that's excellent from Jersey. It was that break from Van Dam, and you've got to say he probably was too unselfish. Gave the ball back to Waters when I think he should have gone to the line, but they didn't panic. They just regrouped, recycled the ball, and in the end, the big tight head, Fijian tight head, goes over. So down to 13 men. They get the third try, as you said.
Well, knew he's going to have a look at this one in the absence of Penberthy. Given the chase to put the pressure on, but no problem from the 20-year-olds. This is where it all started, Dowie.
This is good. A good game, great play. Waters has seen it. He's pacey, and then straight out the back. Oh, it's a lovely, lovely slip pass from Best, and then that is superb feet. Slowick can't stop him. He thinks that he probably wouldn't have been able to get there. He pops the ball back to Waters. Waters then down on his knees, gives the ball back, but after about 3 or 4 more recycles, they decided to give it to the big Fijian, as I said, and that was that.
Indeed. Good chase from Henry. He would have probably caught Van Dam. As I said initially, he probably should have pinned his ears back. He was being caught by the Hartpury winger.
No, he's a good player, he's a Kiwi, isn't he? You can just see he's got a tremendous step. Not quite sure whether, I think he knows where he's quite going, but the defence certainly doesn't. Good experience with, as you said, New Zealand under-20s.
It's a long throw over the top. Jersey keep it alive. Thrown back in field from Marks. Little short run, it didn't go to Madison in the end, but this is a superb mazy run from Newey, and Newey looks inside for Callum Waters. That is simply sublime from Jersey Reds. What a score from the visitors. Waters over for his second, and already they've got their 4th try and the bonus point.
Well, it's too easy, isn't it? This shouldn't be happening with 13 men against 15, but again, they're just unlocking the defence. They're coming back on an angle. This is just loose tackling. Again, it's not communications in the midfield. That's what happens when you've had a few injuries and you put players in. That's a lovely pass, isn't it? From Newey. And again, the scrum half just backing up, waiting for that decision to be made in front of him. He's done that. And they've got the bonus point, like I said, and they've been down, scored 2 tries when they've been down to 13.
Yeah. You have 30 seconds, okay?
Again, people in defence, even if you don't know your opposite guy that's there, you've got to go up together. You can't leave big holes like that.
Oh, nice and quickly.
Conversion's good. Not putting a foot wrong so far.
Again, it's just simple steps. So there's a slight missed tackle there. There's no one. There's a massive gap there. It's not even a dog leg. And against Newey, the youngster just pops that ball out. He attracts 3 people into that. It's far too easy. The coaches will not like to look at that, and none of the players will not like to look at that again. I'm sure they'll be shown it.
Away from Jersey. Under a bit of pressure here as Harper try and bring on the line defence, but Newey, as he goes backwards, knows that he was under a bit of pressure. And
a minute or so to go, haven't they, with the yellow cards, and if you're not going to take advantage of that, it's going to be a very difficult game for Hartpury to even get anything out of this.
Ready?
Front row start to go down. Referee happy enough that they'll use it. Venter. Well, they've deemed to have lost it in terms of trying to force that turnover, Hartpury. Oh, now it squirts out the back. Waters, without too many options, has put a great amount of height on that. Well, that's brilliantly taken by Foley, and Foley stepping through the gap, looks to try and straighten, needs the support which he finds from Wilcox.
Better from Hartpury, again a spark from the back.
Penberthy jersey.
Yeah.
Brilliant turnover from Slowick.
Again, it's your forwards letting you down in that sense. That was some good yardage made by number 14 there, playing on the left wing. Foley, Penberthy's back on. Back up to full complement now. So again, they'll be just looking to close this half off, and it's been, well, it has been Jersey's half. Quite easily, you would say, from some lackadaisical tackling from Hartpury. He's the back in command, master and commander, and he should be able to command off a platform like this. It all depends now how ruthless Jersey are going to try and beat. But they will know if they don't keep the foot down, Hartpury can come back at them, but they're going to have to do a lot of thinking. There'll be a few words said in that changing room, I think, from Barnes, Cornwall and Goodridge, and there needs to be.
Well, the few bits of possession that Hartpury have had, they've actually not done too badly with it.
Exactly. But again, you've got to be a little bit better in that big world that we know is the defence. Defence is more important sometimes than the offensive game, and it hasn't been this afternoon so far.
Madison away for Beckett. Waters looks down the near side as the players are retiring, needs a few to turn around and look the other way. Our clock is our good estimation, but I think Waters has been given a bit of a steer from the referee, who says that will be that for the first half. Well, the first half in which we've seen 3 yellow cards. One for Ben Foley, and then Penberthy and Sexton as well. But 4 tries to Jersey there already, looking comfortable in terms of that bonus point. And well, they've been earning losing bonus points over the course of the season in those 3 losses they had at the start. They're already in the driving seat in this one as the visitors. Half-time at the Gilman's ground. It's Hartpury 7, Jersey Reds 28. 5 tries in total. You've been treated to, of course.
And you've got to say there could have been a few more, couldn't there? If Charlie Madison hadn't fluffed his lines, he got 1 try, then they went back into the corner on 2 or 3, 4 more occasions. Unfortunately, communication broke down, I'll leave it at that. And so they could have had a few more points on the board. But you've got to say their backs have come to the fore, but there would be some pretty woeful and weak tackling, weak organisation defensive.
Try finished off by Waters. Let's have a look then at the first half highlights. And well, the first score that we're giving to Madison at the minute, we've still yet to get any confirmation of anybody else.
He got a few pats on the back, but again, they turned down the 3 points. It would have been easy Penberthy 3 points. They could have gone for another scrum because it was further in field, but they decided to go to the tried and trusted route, which obviously paid off. And I think this is disallowed again. You got Charlie Madison, and Best comes in to add his weight, and as he does that, sometimes you go a little bit too quick. This was the response. Yeah. Great little kick-over from Leeming.
Harry Cochrane
getting the touchdown. He knew it straight away. Referee just checked with the touch judge. That was absolutely fine. That is just precise, isn't it? You could think Penberthy could have just maybe flapped that back and he'd have got away with it. Maybe he didn't know that Cochrane was right on hand.
Yeah, 7-all at that stage, and then well, some brilliant work on the initial break from Van Dam.
Beautiful footwork, good handling. And I thought probably slightly too unselfish there, but actually he would have been tracked down. Recycle, don't panic. And like you said, Superman over the top for G and Superman. Aliafoa just gets what he wants, and this is again far too easy. Straight after that, they're down to 13 guys at this point. They scored 1 with the big tight head. They got 1 through the scrum half, and that's game, set and match as far as I'm concerned. Harper are going to have to play some of their best rugby ever to come back into this game, because again, this is far too passive defensively to allow people with the quality that they've got in the back line, Jersey Reds, to get this much time and this much space.
So 7 points for Hartpury, 28 those 4 tries. Madison with a couple of them, Waters, Madison with 1, then Waters with a couple, and Atalifo as well. And well, it's an opportunity to have a look back at last week. Of course, there were plenty of good tries. Well, I'd imagine one of those from that first half is going to make next week's reel, that's for sure. But we can catch up with the round 7 Greene King IPA Championship Tri-Lights. So those were the Tri-Lights, and well, Doncaster Knights fullback Steve McCall in there. Coventry's Pete White making good from Andy Buller-McCow's pass. JB Brazulier showing some lovely footwork for Carnegie in their whole only points of the whole game, and then Sean Scallon finishing it off for Nottingham. In terms of the vote, well, over 600 of you voted, 45% to Pete White. So so well done, Coventry there. And we can, of course, today is part of a double header, and we may be in the Greene King IPA Championship now, but we've got some Tyrrell's Premier 15s action for you. Gloucester Hartpury against Worcester Valkyries, and Nathan Middleton and Rugby World Cup winner and Olympian Heather Fisher have got this one for you. Here's a little preview from them pitchside.
Thanks, Nick. Welcome to Pitchside here in Hartpury, where we're looking ahead to the second game of this double header this afternoon on England Rugby. We're on Premier15s.com, as well as the England Rugby Facebook and YouTube channel. Alongside me for Gloucester Hartpury women for Worcester Valkyries is the former Red Rose and England Sevens player Heather Fisher. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Heather. So a game here, a local derby, a West Country derby between these two sides. What do you make of the two outfits?
Yeah, to be fair, Worcester are a very young team, very unexperienced. However, they have a lot of dog. I saw them play a few weeks ago against Saracens, and they show a lot of heart and did not give up. In terms of Gloucester Hartpury, by the way, that's such a long name.
It's very long. Get to say that this afternoon.
Gloucester Hartpury, yeah, very young, missing a few players. Obviously, Ellie's gone to the Sevens. Sarah Burns out of injury. But again, they don't give up. They're fighting for a position at the moment, but they have got 2 wins out of 5, so they're looking probably slightly sharper than Worcester. However, Worcester, you can't underestimate any team.
There's a lot of faces that you'll know from the Sevens programme. Kelly Smith is currently the top joint try scorer in the Premier 15s. Nice. In terms of kind of looking at a backline in particular, Gloucester Hartpury are pretty fully loaded, aren't they?
Yeah, to be honest, they have across both wings and the back. They've got a lot of good playmakers. Obviously, Kelly's got great speed, and they've got forwards who can take them forward. They've got kind of an overall solid game. For me, Worcester are slightly on the weaker side. Their back line is very unexperienced, and you need those players to step up. Obviously, when you've got a local derby like this one. Forward-wise, Worcester looking, they're strong, but again, they're young, and you can't be experienced.
Lydia Thompson, a huge name back for Worcester.
She's
a huge name. She was nominated for World Player of the Year during her last 15 stint. She's playing outside centre today. What do you make of that? Yeah,
Lydia is a phenomenal player. I back her any day next to me. Outside centre, yeah, to be honest, she won the ball much. She won the ball more, so that'd be good for her. Slightly less space, however, if anyone get through a gap, it will be Lydia Thompson.
That's Heather Fisher. I'm Nathan Middleton. So 4:30 kick-off for the Premier 15s game here at Hartpury. It is Gloucester Hartpury women against Worcester Valkyries. We'll be with you from just before 4:30.
Oh, thank you very much, Nathan, and to Heather Fisher. Really looking forward to that one. A taste of the Tyrrell's Premier 15s again, and we're looking forward to that. But we're on Greene King IPA Championship duty. Hartpury, with the chances that they've had, haven't made as much of it as they might have done. 4 tries to 1 down. They've got a second half to try and get their way back.
Yeah, and you've got to say they gifted the Jersey Reds 2 tries there when they were down to 13 men. You can't afford to do that. You simply can't. So again, it'd be some harsh words spoken in that changing room. They would have looked to get a win today with Yorkshire Carnegie losing last night. At this moment in time, it doesn't look like that. I can't see a way back from them, but stranger things that happen. But they've got to get the defence sorted out. Yeah. They've got to get the communication sorted out, or they are going to get a bloodied nose.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of more live streams that are coming your way, we'll there is plenty coming from the Red Roses, of course, this autumn. The Quilter Internationals will be getting underway in just a few weeks, and match one there. Red Roses against USA Women, Friday the 9th of November at 7:45, that one at Allianz Park. Then we will be bringing you the live stream from Doncaster, from Castle Park, Sunday the 18th of November at 2 o'clock kick-off at the Red Roses against Canada Women, and then match 3, the Red Roses against Ireland. That's Sunday the 24th of November. That's a 5:40 kick-off, and that one is at Twickenham Stadium. And of course, Simon Middleton named his squad this week, as much as Eddie Jones named his as well. There were 7 new names in there, and a few coming back from the Sevens programme as well. The likes of Lydia Thompson that we heard about from Nathan and Heather Fisher, Sarah McKenna as well, another one of those. But new faces, the likes of Tatiana Hurd, Lucy Atwood, another one in there, and Ellie Mulhern, who we were watching, of course, at Loughborough Lightning last week. Those are all those who are going to be involved this autumn. And chatting to Simon Middleton during the week, he was saying that they will all be given, all of those new faces will be given their first caps as well. So really looking forward to seeing those in action, and other games coming up in the live streams as well. We have that Red Roses game, and then we're back into the Tyrrell's Premier 15s match at the start of December. Loughborough Lightning against Wasps. That one's an early one. It's a midday kick-off there. And then we have the Ace Final and Champions Trophy Final at Allianz Park, Wednesday, December the 5th. Then into the new year on Saturday the 12th of January. Saracens Women against Harlequins Ladies in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, followed by Loughborough against Saracens on January the 19th. That, both of those sides still unbeaten in the competition at the minute, so that promises to be a mouth-watering encounter at 4:30. And then Gloucester Hartpury against Saracens Women on Saturday, March 23rd at 5 p.m. I can just see behind us that one or two of the replacements are just beginning to come out, but perhaps it's a chance to bring you up to date with other things that, of course, Quilter have been up to, involved with their sponsorship of the England series in November, and they've been involved in helping a lot of coaches get to know each other, and how you basically share your knowledge if you are a coach, and how you can encourage others in your area to do the right thing. It's the Quilter Kids First, and we sent David Flatman and Ugo Monye down to find out a bit more about it.
Flats? Jeez, he's always late, isn't he?
Right.
Mate, what in the...
Festival ready, isn't I?
Mate, I meant a kids' rugby festival.
Yeah, but a festival's a festival, isn't it? Anyway, Coldplay coming down later on, so chill out.
Our Quilter Kids First champions for October, Royston Rugby Club, and they've been awarded this honour for retaining players in the game.
Today we have a regional festival, 28 individual teams playing. The scores aren't recorded.
This is not structurally sound. I don't like heights either.
Our first team is about 85% populated by guys who've come through our mini and youth ranks.
Well, let's make it fun for the children.
Once a month, all the coaches from senior through to minis get together.
It's not about the winning or losing, it's about the taking apart, okay?
Yep. Okay. We will waterfall the information and what we're playing at first team all the way down through all the coaches.
This is the first time I'm about to manage a game.
Okay.
So what are you looking for me to do?
Just keeping them engaged. Make sure you listen to him, because we've got 2 game managers today. The game manager is somebody who's going to be explaining to the children as they go along why they've made decisions.
Freeze again! Look at the amount of space that is out wide.
Even if it's against my own team, I'll say, well done, guys.
Was it you passed the ball? Brilliant.
I can't remember the last time I watched rugby without a croissant. Oh, he's off! He's off! It's the new Ugo. The new Go.
Do you love it?
Yes.
What do you love about it?
Tackling.
Tackling? You got one of the girls who started as a girl who's about to play for the senior women's team, is that right?
We absolutely can't wait for her to join us and have younger legs.
3 cheers for Royston! Hip hip hooray! And 1 for luck! Hip hip hooray!
Flats, the prize from the skies.
My lord.
Your Quilter Kids First plaque.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Champions for October, Royston Rugby Club!
You coming down?
No, I'm alright actually, I quite like it up here. I'm just going to hang around and sort of spread the message, okay?
I'll leave you to it, mate.
See you around. Well done, big fella. Keep digging in, Chief.
englandrugby.com/champions to find out more about the Quilter Kids First initiative. Good to see David Flatman and Ugo Monye having a lovely time. David Flatman in a pink tutu. I'd say I'd never thought I'd see the day. To be fair, it's entirely in keeping with Mr. Flatman's sartorial elegance. I've seen Harvey Bilge on there, just to the right of screen in the gilet. His is out. You can see a few of the ladies turning up and getting ready for the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. We just need someone to run down there and knock on the doors and get us some teams down it.
But I think I know which would have been the happier changing room. Harvey Billion, like I said, they had a pretty tricky start to the season. 3 away games. They obviously had that game called off against London Irish in round 3 due to the air show, so that'll be replayed. But again, they possibly should have got a victory in 2 of those. Bedford, they reckon they scored a try right at the end, and London Scottish had a forward pass, if, whats and maybes, but they've righted the ship. They really have over the last 3 performances, and you've got to tack this on the end of 4th performance. It'll take something amazing for Harper to come back into this game. But again, stranger things has happened, as I said, but they've got to start getting their communication up there. They've got to be committed and get their line speed up, but their line speed has won. There's far too many gaps. But that's what happens when you do get a ruck of injuries and you're just putting players in that haven't really got up to speed with the structure situation. But, you know, like I said, the boys in blue, the Jersey Reds, which are playing in blue, we can see these the Hartpury lads coming out now, and they know they're in for a big 40 minutes because they're at the wrong end of the table, in a sense, and they do so well. They did so well to get there, getting 9 promotions in 13 seasons, and they just want to be a feeder club, almost as Jersey have, or want to be, or most clubs do in the Championship. They're just happy where they are. They feed to Bristol, they feed to Gloucester, they feed to Bath. They know the limitations as far as where they want to be. They haven't got the financial clout to get in the Premiership, but they do produce some great players.
And you don't want to be in a situation where you're relying on other results to go your way. It'll give them the minor bit of relief, having seen Carnegie lose that result last night. But ultimately, Hartpury know with this amount of losses in a row, they've really got to right this ship. It looks like the visit of Jersey Reds isn't going to be the day that it happens, but we'll see. 40 minutes to try and turn things around.
No, indeed, but that is the beast that they know at the moment. That there isn't a team like Rotherham, unfortunately, who were last season, who were dead and buried, for quite considerable time out. It's not there this year. Yorkshire possibly may have the backing to bring certain players in. Maybe after the Mighty Tens, they can possibly re-strengthen this squad, because they are sitting at the bottom of the table and they don't want to be there. No easy games. So again, I would think that Penberthy and the Jersey Reds will want to turn the screw here and put a marker down and say, right, at the beginning of the season we were touted as one of the favourites, and this is the reason we are.
Well, we're underway second half. And the Reds, you have it, into the park. Feed it off to the right. Sexton, one of those men who picked up that yellow card in the first half. Reds go short side. Waters, it was a little loose, that ball, it just buffeted around.
It's been kicked out of the screen. Again, stupid mistakes from Harper there. This is a play to nothing. You're not allowed to do that. You know exactly what, I don't know who it was. Was it Gilbert, the number 8? He's just come through. You've got to not do it. They'll just bump this into the corner, I'm sure. Oh, there you go. What do I know? They're just going to build a league now. They've the game's invariably in the bag.
Just there, please.
And as they did against Pirates, I'm going to say with Penberthy, he took his penalties, took a cheeky drop goal. So again, it's putting more distance between. So I can't say I'm surprised. I thought they may use the power, and
I would have thought they would.
What they did in the first half, but this will be a good start. Minute on the board, another 3 points. There's no wind out there. There should be. I never say it's a given, but with his experience and accuracy, this should be another 3. Obviously, he was at Cornish Pirates when he's a Truro-born lad when Harvey was down there at the Pirates, so he obviously know each other well. I think it's his second stint, is it, at Jersey? It
is, yeah, 4th year as a Jersey Red, following the 3 with. Made his 50th appearance against Carnegie earlier in the season, and he's just avoided the 3 points there. But the ball is loose. Van Dam careers after it, and that was a knock-on from Hartpury when it's not going your way.
Is it Langley? One of the most experienced players out there. He couldn't bend his back. I know, mate. Well over 30. And he hit some rucks in yard time. Unfortunately, just couldn't bend down, even with those pink boots on.
It's almost like slow motion there, wasn't it?
This could get worse. They'd probably take another 3 because, again, it's scrum time here. You're right in the corner. All the options open.
It was all part of the plan.
I have a cunning plan.
Crouch. Line.
Waters. You can hear the referee telling them to keep it up. It's with Venter. Front rows go down. Referee had already said to use it, so now it will come away through Penberthy. Oh, he tried to play the shorter ball for Best to take, but Best wasn't ready for it, and that's a good run to try and set up a blip. A few more options. Cochrane's been, Seabrook it is who's been caught, and he's been caught and held on. Penalty jersey. Penberthy has another little look. This time he's wondering what the question is. He's chatting with Sexton, and Sexton says, "I'd like to have another go at the sticks." Wasn't good enough last time. You can do with the practice.
You missed. So again, it's you can say it's the correct decision. You're taking the clock down. You're giving your forwards a breather. They'll just navigate themselves around this next 40 minutes. Again, Best in the thick of things. He's a physical inside centre, not the biggest, but again he makes his presence felt. So he's got a good left boot on him, and he complements Penberthy with his right. That's better.
No problem. Takes jersey up to 31, takes his own tally for the season up to 43, Penberthy. But first points of the second half chalked onto the jersey red side. 3 out of 3.
Now Leeming, he's had a pretty good first half. His distribution is good. His kick for the corner for the Cochrane try was excellent, but again he just needs a little bit more ammunition. But they need, again, their heavy artillery to get him in a place of territory really that they can actually start attacking from. They're attacking too far out, and it's easy for Jersey Reds to pick them off. But you know what'll happen here, Walters, just plenty of time. Those guys in front, actually that ball is out because those guys are not bound with the arm. Just holding on to the ruck at the full length of the arm is not good enough, but they've got the ball back and they'll take it.
Penberthy using the right boot, trying to probe that corner. Foley goes back. He'll use the left peg. He's not found touch. Waters. Penberthy in field. Is he going to fancy running this? He's going to look out wide to Slowick. And then they use Marks. Showed how powerful he was in that first half in setting up Waters' first try. Now back from Penberthy, and Van Dam gets around Ahizadeh. Comes back in for a second bite at the cherry. Dan Murphy eventually brings him down. Now they go back in field. Penberthy thinks he might have spotted a bit of open space in that corner. The ball's not quite played to him, but it has pinned Wilcox back right on his own line. Made a safe enough clearance just towards our halfway point. And Wilcox, former Cinderford man, will be pleased with it, but
you could just about say, Nick, that the Reds have won that kicking contest, and you just watched the Cornishman Penberthy in charge there. He kicks to the left initially. The ball has to come back because there's pressure being put on them. He doesn't kick then straight away because obviously there's people back defending. He uses the big marks to just to attract a bit more attention, and then he pulls them apart, pulls them left, pulls them right, makes Hartpury kick back, and they can launch an attack from the 10-metre line.
Well, of course, by bringing Marks and Van Dam into the game, it meant Hartpury had to defend and bring their wingers forward, didn't it? So that created a bit more of the space. Savvy work from the fly half, but Cochrane will take the mark from that chip into the 22. And now he'll boot downfield. He's opted to keep that one alive, and Penberthy wants to put this in the air. Van Dam's giving chase. It's Van Dam against Wilcox. Wilcox arrived first and Van Dam missed him first time and then couldn't hold on to him second time. Good yards from the Hartpury fullback. On to Dan Murphy, who of course did the skippering duties while Linsell was out. Cochrane, little stop-go hitch kick, puts the ball forward, and look at the pace of Langley trying to get after that one. Waters, well, in fact, Slowick turns back, gets it in for Penberthy, and that's a bit more of a conventional clearance. Wilcox thinks about taking it quickly. Hartpury will have the line out there.
And you've seen a lot more kicking in the second half straight away. Stretching both sides there. It's all about getting that territory. One of the mistakes there, again, Callum Waters just kicking the ball straight into the opposition. Again, it's just getting game time and knowing what to do at the heat of the battle and the right decisions at the right time. So I'm sure you look at this video back and say, no, that was the wrong decision. But I think he's had a pretty good game. Distribution is good, communication is good, but it's always good when you're on the front foot, when you get those big behemoths in front of you charging at the field. Now Harper really need to flick some type of switch, but again it's so difficult to force it.
Well, it was very nearly the intercept. It's been knocked on by Sexton, but
I don't think he'd have got there.
He was in such a good position. It was so obvious from our picture, wasn't it?
But just said, I'd say flick the switch, but you've got to do it at the right time, and you cannot force it. And then the big Irish second row, like I said, he wouldn't have got there, but he'd have made a few yards and probably put someone in underneath the posts. So it's a balancing act from the Hartpury decision makers, when and where to go, but you've got to be playing, as I said, in the right areas.
Second row interception, it's just a dream to watch whenever it happens.
Mario Toge, he'd have made it, I'm sure. His day's done.
It's that sort of look when you can see the brain going, how do I get these legs working?
Oh dear.
I've got 40 yards to go.
I felt like that all the time.
Yeah, Gilbert concludes his afternoon.
Go.
Quick tap from Bolt. Double look out to Cochrane, who couldn't see too many options on. He's a groundsman by day, looks after the pitches around Hartpury. Not this particular one today. Concentrating on playing the game. That's the replacement, James Stevenson. Upfield is told to get out of there from the referee. Leeming onto Eves.
That's good from the Aussie there, Upfield. He knew exactly that he was a foot over, but he just communicated with the referee. Referee allowed him to get away with it and just slowed that ball up a bit more. But this is better, that's better.
Yeah, Langley in full flight. Absolutely straight over the tackle. And I think he might have caused a bit of an injury as well. Now we have the penalty. Heasley is being driven backwards.
The ruck was formed already before you had to.
But Callum Waters, I think he's wondering if he's still got a left shoulder left. Let's have a look at this.
Brave.
It's not bad technique, but
yeah, I think he's just got a bit of a stinger on there. That's brave to get down there. There's no danger of him riding up in that tackle and getting a yellow card or a red card.
It was not. But
get low and stay low and just hope you can absorb something.
The contact on the shoulder was big enough that he couldn't quite get the hand to wrap around, was it? So.
7 jersey.
Big Exeter forward, Exeter born forward Langley there. All those years of experience, got a try, didn't he, last week in that defeat, unfortunately, against Nottingham.
3 changes being made. Jake Upfield's gone, and Dave McKern and Rory Bartle are on, and Will Homer, I think, as well. So Waters has been taken off the field, from what I can see. Anyway, here come Hartpury. They're the ones in possession. Breaking away, Bolt looked for the option. It's been knocked on. Huge frustration from Hartpury because, well, over the last few minutes they were just doing a few better things.
Yeah, they got in an area, they stayed in that area, they communicated well, and then unfortunately just those errors that creep in because they are chasing the game. They're looking at the scoreboard, they know something's got to happen, and you can just tell by the body language there, and everyone's just,
I'll remind you next time.
Yeah, almost everything has literally got to go right, and it's not. one area they have been good at, the scrum. Jersey Reds haven't had any real supremacy in there. It's been even Steven 50-50, and you'd expect that with, I think, two vastly experienced props.
Will Homer, of course, brother of Tom, former Bath man who joined in the summer, made his first start last week against Coventry, was in the same Junior World Cup squad as the likes of Charlie Beckett a few years ago, playing a bit of rugby at Carnegie last season. And Bartle on as well, with the number 20 just on the left there. Played a bit of A-League with Gloucester, Wales under-20s, the 22-year-olds. Homer looks like he's asking Venter to do the work. Venter then does fire it away to Homer, who puts in a safe kick up the touchline. He might have hoped for a little more change out of the assistant on the near side, but Hartpury will have the ball.
Jersey Reds were going for a pen there. For those that are just tuned in, Jersey Reds are in blue, so they try to put the hammer down a little bit in that scrum, but the referee said play it. So Hartpury still in the right area. Good ball off the top needed. There you go.
Linsell, the skipper, doing the job. It'll straighten through the middle. Now they look to try and change attack. Bolt fancied it. Not sure the rest of Hartpury quite knew what was going on. There's Langley, who we already saw with that break that side. Jersey had to roll away. Bolt again. Option in the middle. Harden was stood there. Not deemed enough of an obstruction. Now the Reds have shot out the line. Has that ball gone forwards? Assistant on the far side says it has. Well, you'd argue the ball was sent flat and then it was bouncing on the floor that took it forwards, but the officials have decided between them it will be a scrum to Jersey.
But a good press from the Kiwi, Van Dam. Again, they just got Harper, just got him in the eye line there and forced the quickness of pass, and it wasn't the most skillful.
Dan throw one over the head of Penberthy, but it sits up well for him. Such is the over ball. Penberthy then fancies a little prod into no man's land, and that's brilliantly done onto the shoulder. Then it's Rodman. Now they get it away for Koch Marks. Marks gets out of the first tackle. He's got options behind left and right. He throws it up left. It's James Newey with the finish, and that's one for the highlights reel. Another corker from Jersey. Penberthy brilliant in the setup and the little tip on.
It's just, again, he's a quality player, isn't he? He's been around a bit. He's seen it all in a sense. Van Dam probably makes the only mistake he's made today, a wayward pass, but again, Penberthy's skill and dexterity then just gets him out of jail. This is what you like to see, the big lads just popping the ball out of contact. They know they've got a numerical advantage, and then straight away you strengthen. He's a big, strong runner, is Marks. The South African makes the dent, puts the ball back inside again. It's just Newey this time. Wait for the person in front to make that decision. If he goes out to the left, out to the right, you run into the left and just wait for the offload. That's happened. Penberthy's breathing hard, taking a big swig. I'm sure they're taking a big swig in the Jersey clubhouse now.
We need to really work harder.
And a thoroughly deserved score. It was just good pressure, really. Good pressing. And a bit of skill, well, not a bit of skill, a great bit of vision and skill from this man.
Fifth try for the Reds. Conversion from Penberthy is good. 7 plays 38. Let's have another little look.
Again, it's just mixing it up. All right, this is the bounce of the ball, but that's what happens.
Lovely from Homer as well.
Yeah, it's good skill.
Know where it needed to go.
And then again, when you need someone to straighten, it's a far too easy handoff, though. You're going to say on Leeming, and it's the quality they can bring. Again, talking to Harvey Billion before the game, they want to play a more adventurous style of rugby, and he's going to get one.
Koch Marks involved in the last one to turn provider. Oh, now then. He's dropped it over the line.
Do you know what?
Send it to Freddie Burns. He cannot believe it. He cannot believe it.
Freddie Burns, eat your heart out.
My goodness me. Well, this wasn't with any interference, was it? And he knew it. No complaint to the referee.
He's not showboating, but again, not going to labour the fact you get on your belly, you make sure you score the try, you get on your belly, you slide it in.
Oh dear, oh dear. He's lost control, and he knows it.
Oh dear, and that's all you need, isn't it? A little slap across the
Stratford's going to let him know as well.
Yeah. We've seen about everything today.
Highlights and lowlights from Jersey Reds.
Get on your belly. Score it.
Cochrane breaks. Huge belt downfield for Slowick to deal with. French-born fullback, former Worcester and Bristol. He's had 4 tries this season. He's not been too close to the whitewash himself so far. Homer gets the carry from Bartle. Good yards from the replacement. Then Penberthy, he does go a little deeper. And Brett Heron, who's onto the field, the former Wellington College boy, 22 years of age. Moved this season from a couple of years at Ulster. Wasn't getting a huge amount of game time there, so again another one of those youngsters that's relishing the chance to play some championship rugby and show what they can do, as is Ben Foley, who's hitting the tackle, rolls himself onto the deck. Hartpury hold on to it. Now these are the areas of the field where they keep going deeper. Leeming again, he's managed to step his way well through there as he's brought down by Bartle, and then Cousins is onto the field now, and Cochrane floats it over the top. Look to try and set themselves away. That's good feet from Wilcox. Throws it back in field. Has Marks knocked that forwards? Yes, I think he has. Nice bit of footwork from Wilcox, wasn't it?
Very good indeed. And here we go. We'll see from this angle. This should show as well. He knows belly's an option. Oh dear, as he just transfers it, he wants to place it down, and there's the little pat on the chops from Stratford. I think he may be reminded of that on the plane journey home.
He might, but it won't taste too bittersweet with the victory. Harry Morley leaving the field. Joe Harvey's been in touch. Tell you what, Jersey play some very good attacking rugby, just so confident in defence and attack.
I totally agree. I like that. That really was the basis of the victory last week when the Pirates visited Jersey. Their line speed and just aggressive, really aggressive defence. They just didn't let the Pirates breathe whatsoever, and they should have got 4 tries. They should have got a bonus, but they'll take it. And 3 tries to 1, they'll take that, no problem at all. But because the Pirates have been playing some scintillating stuff.
Cochrane. Cousins looks to fire it away. It was a good pass to find Eves. Cochrane's trying to put a bit more zip into the game. They go the same way again. Leeming. He's got good footwork, Leeming. He has been the one that's been pulling things back a little deep from Hartpury on occasion, but ball in hand, he's confident. Oh, Ahizadeh was on the floor, but I think the referee was unhappy that Jersey hadn't quite released him in order to try and win that turnover, so they've been penalised, or in fact it's not rolling away as the call.
Yeah.
You can just see the signal, so Cousins will put this down the touchline and try and build Hartpury back into this game in the last quarter.
I think Jersey Reds are a little bit unlucky there. They nearly did a great sort of steal. One hits the tackling man as he goes down, then one jackal straight over the top, but it was deemed that obviously wasn't quite right.
You can see Ahizadeh there, the big number 4, who's come from Bristol. He's taking a lot of deep breaths as he comes into this one. You see a lot of the sort of youngsters in the game these days, 21, 22. Having this conversation recently with someone, where do you feel the sort of stamina versus strength is at an athlete's best in rugby? Because the youngsters obviously are good at it, but actually perhaps those in their mid to late 20s seem a little bit more comfortable at going the distance.
Yeah, it's a 22, 23 man game. Obviously 22 in the Champs, 23 man game. Just the way the game is developed, it's more physical. And it's just all the conditioning. You're not used to probably playing 80 minutes, and that's where it's difficult to assess. A lot of these guys don't have that much game time. Someone like Bristol, that's why he's come up the road to have a game at Hartpury, and nothing replicates playing out there. You can have all the pre-season you want to do. This is up and down, here's a tackle, hit a tackle. So actually there's no sort of
no hiding place.
No hiding place. There's nothing can substitute a good 80 minutes of rugby. But again, when you meet your potential, front rowers will say 30, 31, second rowers looking again to mention Mariatosia. This guy just burst on the scene. I saw him at under 20s level. He was just phenomenal, and he's been phenomenal ever since. So I think the maturity doesn't really apply now in the modern game to certain positions. There's a lot of youngsters on show. I mean, there's a lot of under 20s there, and they just want to play, and that's why I think the championship is so superb.
Slowick, sorry, just to interrupt you there. Slowick's done a decent job to find Sexton, and Sexton might have sent Homer away into the corner. Homer is just tackled. What a brilliant try-saving tackle that is, particularly at this stage of the game where Hartpury are concerned. My goodness me. Brilliant commitment.
Didn't quite get there, but this man, here he comes, Captain Fantastic. It's Sexton on the wing. Ball back inside, that's how you pass. Show that one to your brother. And then he's in, ball's in the wrong hand. Again, if he'd have gone early, he probably got down a little bit quicker. He'd have slid into the corner.
Seabrook, brilliant.
Yeah. But again, look where they are. Look at the scoreboard, look at the time. Just seems to be one way. And they've nicked the line out.
Well, he said they couldn't quite get up there. Didn't quite go to plan for Hartpury, so it's another chance. You can see Newey is calling for it. He wants it out wide. Then Dave McKern. Now it comes. It's outside Newey to Slowick. Slowick, who gave it away before, now into the hands of Newey, who's got bodies on the floor that he's got to try and get around. Van Dam will go in and provide the platform. Homer. Rodman in there. Holenstein.
It's great watching Penberthy as well at 10. He's just like, you get in there and give me the ball when I've got a bit of a gap. And that's just brilliant.
A lovely sell of the dummy. Look at that from Heron. Hartpury bought everything he had to sell. Former Bath and man on loan at Roslyn Park has stepped into the game and helped himself to a peach of a score.
Another South African. Again, it's just too much talent out there. There's too much space. There's people falling over. But again, it's just watching Penberthy. I don't want it actually off that first rattle. I want one of the big fours, and it was a
Holenstein.
Holenstein just making those. Well, again, it's too easy. It's too many easy yards for them. You can make a yard, but he's making 3 or 4. And when that ball is recycled, Penberthy, right, give it me now. I want that, and then it's just quick hands out to a guy that has got a little bit of space. And like I said, the big South African is fleet of foot and away to go. And this will be another 2.
It certainly is.
And we'll have another wheeler. That's the big rattle coming there, and Penberthy in charge. Options all over the place. Step back inside off the left and just accelerate around as the mayhem happens in front of him. The door's open. And this is becoming far too easy now for Jersey Reds. Well, Halloween's coming is a bit of a horror show for Hartpury, unfortunately. You interviewed with John Barnes before the game, who's, I think, slightly apprehensive to see exactly what his charges could give him on the day with all the injuries that they've got, and they have got serious injuries and problems.
Yeah, there was definitely a sense from his body language, really, that,
because I think he knew, obviously, the Reds are in town, they are very well structured. They know exactly what they do. They're big units, they're big lads, a lot of experience out there, but everything's really got to go right for you, and it hasn't. But credit to Jersey, they've not say turned the season around, because they did have a relatively bad start with those 3 losses, but they were far away on all of them, and then going to Doncaster 2 weeks ago, like I said, in the Pirates visiting, and today's performance pretty good.
Slowly stepping back in. Oh, has he just managed to hold that back? He has. Cochrane, he's a live wire, and he's looking to try and combine with enough people to bring about a try for Hartpury. Wilcox tries to chip it through. Homer does well to send it back. Now Jersey, are they going to try this one from their own 22? Slowick is brought down. No one there. Even competing with it.
Well, to be fair on Homer, he had chased back a heck of a way and to get that ball initially.
Van Dam. Sexton again. He's loving that position out on the wing, isn't he?
He just put a 1 in front of his 4. He'll just be happy.
Yeah.
Just be happy.
Oh, a little bit loose for Homer. Finds it inside for Selway. He predates Harvey Biljon in terms of the Jersey Reds. Top try scorer last season with 16 of them. So with Charlie Maddison getting on the score today, with getting on the sheet today. Now we've got the break. Venter manages to find support. Then it's on to Newey. Newey looks back inside. Referee in line with it. It's going to be a second for Heron. Scintillating from the Reds. And the writing on the wall for Hartpury.
What a break again. It's another South African. Well, South African scores if South Africa makes the break. And Namibian, I should say. Just again a big presence on the field. He gets low in his bust as the ball is recycled. There's 2 guys. He just keeps pumping those legs. Again, I thought he was outstanding against the Pirates, and that's great skill as well, isn't it? Just a lovely pass off his left. 21 caps for Namibia, and it's just far too easy.
And as that last pass comes in, 5 options available to him as well.
You've busted. The heads were down just before half-time for Harper. They've been down, and they've been hammered this afternoon.
Penberthy to bring up 50 points this season then, which he does.
There's a few injuries all over the place. Adizadeh is down just before the halfway line. I can't quite see that forward there. Looks like a forward. He's got strapping on his legs. He's another one down. There's 2 down. It's just good rugby, isn't it? Again, you mentioned it. There's the options all over the place, and that's where you want. No one panics. No one chases anyone up a blind alley. And actually you run into space, and if you're giving your ball carrier, your ball thrower a great option, and it's celebration time.
Well, a moment there you can see both Leeming and Cousins chasing the same man into that corner, and Cousins perhaps needed to have the wherewithal to look back in field.
It's difficult when you've been split open. And you look at the scoreboard and you think, well, this game is gone. So it's just unfortunately sad scenes for Harper. And it looks like another injury. Hopefully not too serious.
Doesn't look too comfortable, does he?
But all the precautions are made, and quite rightly so. You see the stretcher there.
Might be a bit of a lower leg issue. Didn't quite catch who it was. Can't quite see if there's anything in there. I think there might be a leg.
He's in pain. He's over. I'm not quite sure. It's overstretched. Just compounds the problems, doesn't it?
I think it was a player falling on the lower leg there, and it might be. There will be a bit of a stoppage here.
Well, again, it'll take as much time as they need to.
I think it might be Simon Linsell, who was.
Well, they've had numerous second row injuries.
Well, he was out earlier in the season with Joe Quinn, who'd been deputising.
It may just be a twist, hopefully. Well, again, sometimes a twist can be worse than a break, but I don't think it's a break.
So it's where there's the plant of the feet at the back and the tackler starts to roll down and it just goes onto the foot. Oh, don't want to watch that too much. That, I think, is where it's happened. Hashtag Champ Rugby, if you've got anything that you'd like to get across to us in this momentary pause in affairs.
Well, I could say one thing if you want. Talking to Mr. Billion before the
What's
game.
your question to yourself?
Well, no, it was from Harvey, actually. Do you mind me using this one? Because the cup competition is going to start in a week's time.
Yeah.
Everyone plays. And he said, do you know what I'd have loved, he said. What's that? I said, well, our teams, obviously all the teams that play in the Championship, to play the Premiership A sides in a cup competitions, home and away.
Yeah.
And that would have been quite good,
yeah.
Because certain players playing for the Championship sides may have been let go by certain teams, so there's maybe a bit of an edge there, and actually you'd have a very competitive start, a bit like the old John Player Special Cup, whenever when you used to have teams like Spartans down the road that used to play Oral, my old club, and fantastic afternoons. All right, the game has moved on as far as professionalism, but these Championship sides, some of them are as professional as the Premiership sides, so there wouldn't be any disparity in that, and I think it would be a fantastic.
It would. I've got a potential spanner in your works here, though, because I dare say there are a number of players in those A-League teams that are dual registered in the champ teams.
But it would, yes, and I know they
play half for either side,
and they cancel half the A games as well because they haven't got enough players. But I'm just being sort of. I'm not even being devil's advocate. I would like to. It would be a great competition.
It would.
Don't you think? There would be if you could structure it. You'd have different opposition to play against rather than the same, and it's nice actually. A little picture here. You got all the Jersey Reds lads going over to wish. Obviously, the lad on the floor. Not quite sure again who he is, but
I think it may be Linsell.
Is it Linsell? Okay. Well, he's getting a little bit of oxygen. He's got strapping on that left leg, and he's on the stretcher, so it won't be long. Like I said, all the best care is out there, and that's why you've got the Jersey Reds forwards. Where's his mates?
Yeah,
the Jersey Reds boys are underneath, taking their captain off, and that's a nice scene.
That's a very, very kind gesture, isn't it? That is a beautiful scene.
That's brothers,
and a few of them who were on the sidelines, I think, as well, who've gone on to help. So that's brilliant. Respect and sportsmanship in action right there. Oh, Linsell is there on the side. So
anyway, you need to come back on now, lads. He's all right. Just not drop him down. Place him down.
Well, the game continues then. 10 minutes remaining in this one. Cochrane has been one of the live wires since he came on in the first half. Oh, that is a big tackle, but no wrapping of the arms from Rory Bartle, so referee says penalty, and Cochrane will go again. He's thrown a bit of a wild one over for Linsell. Linsell won't use Foley on the outside, but takes it into contact. Dave McKern is doing his best to try and hold him up, the Australian, but now they come out the back again through Fluke. Support is there from Cutting. Cochrane loses his footing, but now finds Cousins. And Cousins, unlike Leeming, since he's come on, is actually trying to play his three quarters a little flatter, trying to get round things. Cochrane goes backwards. Eves. Support gets in there. And you can see that Cousins is trying to attack that gain line a little more. Goes out the back that time to find Leeming. Two first receivers effectively working in tandem. Homer.
Here they go.
Throws a huge one back in for Slowick. Now is there a little bit of open water for Slowick? Oh, it's a nice chip outside. Looking for it to be gathered by Newey, but Seabrook read it well. Newey's not able to ruck through there, and but Cutting will play it away for his front row colleague Joe Morris, dual registered with Worcester. Now Cousins. Jersey just managing to find enough people in each area of the field to make it so difficult for Hartpury to spot where the gaps might be. Hezade with another carry.
He's had a good afternoon.
A little bit lateral at the minute from Hartpury. They do find a few more yards then, but wary of going backwards with each of these phases. Need to find a room to get their way through, and Stevenson nearly does so. And there's a little show again as Wilcox tries to get things going with Cochrane.
It is good defence from Jersey, though. They're in tandem with each other.
Oh, but then the gap has opened up from Pashley, and Pashley gets it away. And Cochrane has the support, and it's going to be the finish from Leeming. Second try of the game for Hartpury. It was well worked in the end. Patience paid off.
Yeah, it was. And commentators curse. I'm just saying, as soon as I say Jersey Reds are doing so well in defence, that eventually Hartpury do bust. And that was a very, very fine bust. Good pass out.
Pashley with the break.
Yeah, good break in there, and it's just the outside half calling on his right-hand side underneath the posts. And that's the spirit you've come to recognise from the Hartpury team. And all right, they've been limited today. Things haven't gone their way, but they haven't given up.
A little drop kick of a conversion from Luke Cousins.
Saves a bit of time, but it won't matter because Jersey are in no rush. And actually those stoic men that took the injured Hartpury player off with the bench. So I was saying they took the restart pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's a lovely little break up the side again. Communication. Cousins with the break, Leeming with the score, but far too late.
Penberthy.
Unfortunately for this game.
Indeed. Cousins. Wilcox. Nice run from the fullback. Can cover at scrum half if needed. Penalty goes to Hartpury though. High shot. Cousins will come in and take this down the near touchline. But cutting. Don't know for Worcester Cavaliers in the Premiership Shield this season. Turned 20 at the beginning of last month. Also played a bit for against Sale Sharks in the Anglo-Welsh Cup last November. Another one of those England under-20s players. It's a lovely fizz of a ball away from Cochrane, wasn't it? On for Cousins. Again, it's loose. Cousins, sorry, into looking for that corner. Is the ball going to hold up? It will. It's going to give Slowick a bit of time to decide where he wants to put it. Just gone straight down the channel. Wilcox gathers it well, fires it infield. Cousins. Foley. Good tackle on him from Van Dam. Wasn't quite held though. Leeming helps protect it. Cousins has to reach it out of the sky. Now it's there for Ahizadeh, who perhaps needed to come forward and gather it, allowed it to bounce. It's just paused the Hartpury momentum. We will ask Howie Morris for his Greene King IPA Player Man of the Match when we have the next stoppage. That's very nicely done for Ahizadeh, who takes the contact, flicks it away back in field, and we play on. That was very nicely done from former Bristol second row. Plenty of ball in time rugby we've been enjoying at Hartpury. Cochrane, again, this is that sort of spell of phase play where Hartpury are going more lateral than they're getting yards forward. Homer takes his time. Penberthy sizes up the options and then decides it's time to stick this one out, but he hasn't quite made it either, so we will play on. It is breathless stuff in the 76th minute. Wilcox, brilliant feet from him, wants to beat absolutely everybody. Then he needs a bit of go forward to present the ruck that might suck in a few defenders. Mike Fluke the one to offer himself, then Stevenson. Where are Hartpury finding this energy from at this point in the game, having defended all match against Jersey? They kick it away though. Slowick back in for Homer. Homer fancies the run, doesn't want to run himself into trouble. Back to Penberthy. Penberthy's going to keep this infield.
Kick it downtown.
This has turned into a fitness test for both sides at this stage. You know when you run those shuttles pre-season, this is why. Foley.
but again, you can see Harper want to go. They've got 2 tries. They're not going to get anything out of this game because the Jersey defence is so good. But they're trying their damnedest.
Foley's cramping up on the floor. Seabrook's tried to get away. He's released it, but I think we've had to stop play because
everyone's tired.
Well, there's that, and I think is it Pashley who has taken a knock and has stayed down. Well, Dowie, now is a good moment then to perhaps find out from you who you think has been the influential one on this game.
Well, normally I will give my man of the match to the person that stays on for the 80 minutes. He has done that. Special mention, I think, to the Namibian Jacko Venter has been outstanding off the back of a very, very strong front 5. Marks, the 2 wingers actually, Van Dam and Marks, have had plenty of ball, plenty of ammunition to play with, but my Greene King IPA man of the match is Aaron Penberthy, the orchestrator of most of the pain that Hartpury have had to have this afternoon. He's just he's just pulled the strings brilliantly, whether it's out of hand kicking, his communication with initially Callum Waters was very, very good. Again, he's had the armchair ride, but again, he's been superb in that crucial position, and he's pulled literally all the strings this afternoon, and he is my Greene King IPA man of the match. And he has a rest at the back as well, which I like him. He sort of goes across the left wing, goes across the right wing, sits at foot 15, and just on cue he will be exiting. No, he won't. He wants to play again.
Well, here we go, through Marks and then Van Dam, the players that have all been involved, and then Van Dam shows why you didn't pick him as man of the match. That's a little unkind, but amazing that Jersey decided to keep that ball alive as
I think that's
Hartpury kicked it into the corner. I mean, you might have thought they'd fancy a little bit more of a rest, but
possibly the forwards would. But the backs decided differently. But again, the vision, there was a person over on that left-hand side.
Linsell takes it down. Cousins, he's winding up a big one to try and find Wilcox. Wilcox looks to try and get on the outside of Penberthy and then sets Seabrook away. Seabrook tries to go straight through Van Dam. Van Dam's felt every bit of that. Pops up for Cochrane. Cochrane will look for the options. It's gone forwards in the tackle, and it's a penalty to the Reds.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It doesn't matter. Newey did very, very well stopping Cochrane get that pass out. This should be just about it, is it? What's the...
Well, our stadium clock showing 23. Our clock shows just over a minute. It'll be on referee Selwood's.
There's someone down.
Watch himself.
Van Dam came across.
Yeah, he
help.
There was Seabrook going through Van Dam, and both of them have taken a bit of a knock here. Look. Bit of a road traffic accident on the far side.
Well, the girls kicking off at 4:30.
Yeah, double header for you today. Tyrrell's Premier 15's following us. Gloucester Hartpury taking on Worcester Valkyries. Nathan Middleton and Heather Fisher will be bringing you that one. Well, Van Dam is sitting back up, and
he's fine.
He's going to just have a couple of minutes on the sidelines. No problem there at all.
Penberthy with the ball. I think he's just going to pop this into touch, and that should nearly be about it. We may just have time for one more line out.
Giving it a good lick. It's up to the 10 metre. Selway goes long to the back. Homer gets good quick ball off the top, and then Heron. Mark Best making the yards as any good inside centre should do, but pressure has told. Penalty given away. Cochrane fancies the chance to try and run this himself. He's electric. Is Cochrane. He's tackled by his opposite number, Homer, who knew that he needed to be the one to bring him down. Leeming's just lost his footing. Centre of the field for Hartpury. Heasaday tries to step his way through and find the offload, but there'll be a penalty there as Jersey thwart it illegally. Leeming puts it into the corner. Can Hartpury grab a third try to take something away from this game in terms of keeping going right up to the end? The damage was done in the first half, that's fair to say.
It certainly was. It was done actually in that period just before half-time when they scored those 2 tries and they were down to 13 men. And
phenomenal.
That does knock the stuffing out of you when you're struggling in the game anyway. And then concede 2 tries when the opposite side's down to 13. So yeah, but I suppose as a coach, as players, you want to finish the game with probably something to take into next week, and that won't be something you want to take into next week because you've messed up the line out.
Yeah, well, they've gone with another one of those where they weren't going to get Heasaday to jump. Now Cousins has gone for the big cross field, but that's not well placed. Penberthy has all the time in the world to get hold of that. And the ball is still alive, and now he touches it down.
Ask the referee. That's it. Job done. A good 80 minutes, a good afternoon's work.
Well, it's been comprehensive from Jersey Reds on the road. We got a sense pre-game really that there were a few nerves knocking about Hartpury. In the end, they've just managed to score 2 tries compared to 7 from the visitors. It's been a very solid display, and well, Jersey will be sending out a few signs to the rest of the league with that sort of performance, Dowie.
Solid display, solid side, aren't they? They're well coached. You can see that they've got the nuts and bolts. They've got a very, very good, aggressive, competitive pack. They get off the line well in defence. They've got some a handful of both wingers. I think Van Dam and Marks have been great signings for them, and yeah, they're very streetwise, and they're going to take some beating now. They've got this word momentum bringing into this game. They've added to that, and yeah, it's a procession. They went for the corner, they kept back, didn't go for 3, and that was really the start of quite an easy victory.
Yeah, it was. The first try then going down from Addison, and brilliance from Cochrane, who was on pretty early, who got that try from Hartpury, and we were all level at that stage. But then, well, Callum Waters, just have another look at Cochrane's finish. It's a beauty.
And you thought there was going to be a response because they did get some ball, but again, they were again sorry to go on about it, but quite passive, and there's a lot of skill. I think this is a different Jersey side to what people think. They're just a one-dimensional big pack of forwards that go from set piece to set piece. This isn't them. They've got some good players. They've got some good flyers. They've got some acrobatic tight head props as well, which is always nice to see. And again, it just became too easy. Just scoring really from Will, busting the midfield. Just too easy from positions. People falling off tackles.
Yeah, Newey dancing around.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you get a few guys thrown together. They have a ruck of injuries, but there's no excuse for that. People do have injuries, and this is my man of the match. I could have gone with 1 or 2 others, and when it's with you, the technique of the bounce of the ball goes with you. Again, a little bit of skill, but again, experience, Tenham. Some things you can't buy, and experience is one of those.
Penberthy doing well, some brilliant stuff through that middle. They then tip on to Homer.
And then everyone wants to play, all the forwards get involved, and it's great. And some of the passes don't go to hand, but again, when you want somebody, this Marks lad, very, very good, very aggressive, very strong in the tackle, and just buys people a little bit of time.
Yeah, that was the first try of the second half, then going down to Newey, and then Brett Heron selling the lovely dummy to get over for try number 6. And Leeming was completely sold on it and managed to get it. But then this was the break that led to well, the final try as far as Jersey Reds were concerned. So many queuing up for that pass.
Yeah, but that's again when things are happening for you and sides are sort of sliding off tackles, and there's the big bust from Venter right at the middle. Where do you want me to go? Left, right? I'll go right. Newey's involved, and just wait. The call comes inside, and then off you go.
And the final score, well, it came from the home side to give them something positive to finish with. Cousins and support after the initial break. And finished by Sam Leeming. Cousins looked good when he came on. Of course, he was Richard Bolt's partner at Rouen. And then they have been combining well with Jersey. Well with Hartpury and Cousins coming off the bench to do the business. But hopefully we can now catch up with our man of the match before we conclude affairs here and hand over to the Tyrrell's Premier 15s match. And Aaron Penberthy, I'm hoping, can hear us here in commentary. Aaron, many congratulations. Dowie Morris selecting you as our Greene King IPA Premiership man of the match and Championship, I should say. Congratulations. How did that one feel out there?
Yeah, it was really good. We're really happy with the performance. We knew coming here was going to be a tough task. Hartpury are very strong at home, as you can see in the first half, but I thought the second half our fitness and determination paid off.
Yeah, it was certainly a very strong performance. You guys getting those 4 tries, and particularly that period when you were down to 13 men, to be able to put 14 points on during that period must have made the team talk at half time a fairly positive one.
Yeah, definitely. We did say that. I think the guys that took control of the game well, slowed the game down a bit, so the time went on for us guys, and a great break from James Newey to finish that try off. So yeah, it was a good place to be going into half time.
And 2 easy games to come now for you, Aaron. You got Richmond at home and then London Irish.
Yeah, I know. We know how much of a threat Richmond can be. Obviously, they played Ealing last week at Ealing and only just lost, so we're not underestimating them at all. But we really love playing at home, and hopefully put a result in there and give us some momentum going into London Irish the week after.
Yeah, finally, Aaron, it really is this sort of phrase, momentum. Dowie mentioned it at the beginning of the show today, and with these wins on the road, having taken the losing bonus points from the early season losses, you guys really making a statement in this season's competition.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously the first 3 games of the season weren't great. They were all away games, but like you said, we picked ourselves up, and we've got a bit of the momentum now, like you said. And yeah, we don't want to spoil that, especially going into London Irish in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, well, hopefully there's a keg nearby. You are our Greene King IPA Championship man of the match. Many congratulations and well done today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
There we go.
Cheers. Thank you.
No problem at all. Enjoy that. Well, Dowie Morris, a final thought as I said there. You know, Jersey are making a real statement with these sorts of results, and well, for the home side, it's a tricky time.
No easy games, and the Irish will be looking at that, knowing what's in store for them in a couple of weeks' time, because they can't afford to drop any points. With Ealing getting bonus points all the time, the Cornish Pirates are still there or thereabouts. These guys will stay with it. There's no easy games in this championship, mate. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Dowie, really appreciate your time as always. Premier15s.com is where to head now if you want to get some Tyrrell's Premier 15s action. It's about to get underway with my colleagues Nathan Middleton and Heather Fisher, of course, Rugby World Cup winner and Olympian. But that's it from all of us here. 14 points to 52. Jersey Reds have done the business here at Hartpury. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. But for now, it's goodbye.
In terms of your performance that you've been last week, you're coming into